Locked On Podcast Network presents Locked On Sports Today.
The Milwaukee Brewers are on fire, having swept the Dodgers twice in 2 of their last 3 series for 10 wins in a row. Also, WNBA players are calling to be paid fairly yet again. And Scottie Scheffler dominates another major championship in the way only he can.
I'm Peter Bukowski, starting your day with the can't-miss stories and biggest debates in sports. You're Locked On Sports Today.
Searching all major sports. Found.
Let's start with the biggest story.
Mookie Betts had a chance with the bases loaded in the 9th and couldn't get it done. The Brewers have now swept the LA Dodgers on the season series 5-0 and have won 10 in a row, tied for the best record in baseball when they finished tied for first place in the NL Central. Chuck Freeman from Locked On Brewers joins me now. And Chuck, we talked right after during the All-Star break because of Jacob Mizorowski and all of the drama that ensued there. There's even more drama after the interview and all that stuff we don't have to get into here. Let's talk about the Brewers because right now you can make the case they are the best team in baseball.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they came into Sunday the 3rd best record in Major League Baseball. But when you sweep the Dodgers twice, you did it a couple of weeks ago at home, and then you went out to LA right after the All-Star break, and you did it again. I mean, what more can this team do? I mean, it's amazing, and I think they're starting to draw a lot of attention because the Brewers, as we know, Peter, they don't spend a lot of money, but they make a lot of noise on the field. And what a weekend. I mean, they got the offense. They were down 3-0. They were down 3-0 Sunday. And instead of just like folding the tent and calling it a day, man, they rallied back, and they rallied twice. They were down 4-3 late in the game too, and came back and won. So, I mean, these guys are just incredible, amazing. They're just been on a terrific run. Peter, they've had an 8-game winning streak and a 10-game winning streak this year. That's amazing.
It seems pretty good, Chuck. There is going to be, I think, a skeptical group of fans in the Brewers fan base. And of course, you know, if you're a Cubs fan, you would like to be skeptical about this team because we've seen them in similar situations. They lack the high-end superstar talent, at least the national names that people know. There's some really, really good players on this team, guys like Jackson Chourio, that if you don't know, you better get to know quick, fast, and in a hurry. But why could this season be different in terms of flaming out in the playoffs, which we have seen before with this team?
Peter, every time I think this team is going to go south, they don't go on extended losing skids. They do it with guys. I mean, Isaac Collins was in the cleanup spot today. They rested Christian Yelich, and they put out what we call the Sunday lineup, which is a term used in sports radio here in Wisconsin that we've used. And it's like the feeling when the Brewers win 2 in a row, they just throw out a bottom of the barrel lineup. And they did that. They put Isaac Collins in the cleanup spot, and he responds with a big go-ahead 2-run single late in the game and stuff like that. I mean, they just got this thing about them where so many different guys produce. And when they throw out the Sunday lineup, when they throw out the regular lineup, it doesn't matter. And even like Jose Quintana today, Peter, 6 innings, 4 hits, a guy nobody wanted, who the Brewers kind of picked up off the scrap heap right around the beginning of spring training. You know, it took him a while to get adjusted. He missed the first couple of weeks of the season. God, I mean, who wouldn't want to have that guy right now?
If you go back and look at their schedule, they have not lost, to your point about extended losing streaks. They had some extended losing streaks in the beginning of the season. They have not lost more than 2 games in a row since May 7, 9, 10. That's how long it's been. We're talking about May. It's July. It's late July here, and they haven't lost more than 2 games in a row since then. I think the question, Chuck, is going to be, do they have, now I know playoff baseball has changed, do they have the dudes, the top of the rotation, and the guys that can get the clutch hits in the big moments? That's kind of what they've been doing all season. It's been a very much a ham and egg kind of day or kind of season for them. Can they do it in the postseason? That's going to be the question.
Well, and the feeling, Peter, do they go out and improve this team and make a trade to be October, to go further in October? But then again, I look at it, I'm starting to feel the other end. I mean, do you mess up the chemistry on this team? And do you replace a Caleb Durbin and Isaac Collins when these guys have been producing? I don't know. I mean, with a trade, and you would love to fortify this team with some better bats and all that. But, man, I don't know if you want to – I'm starting to feel differently about it, Peter. I don't know if you want to mess with the chemistry.
You can stay up to date all year on the Milwaukee Brewers by subscribing to Locked On Sports Today and Locked On Brewers on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. You're Locked On Sports Today. Coming up, the WNBA wants to be paid. Before we get to that, baseball is back in action following the All-Star break. Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're about baseball under the lights, check. Golf on the green, check. Or high-stakes soccer action, check. FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game with your friends while they're getting sunburned on the beach. I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups. Cashed Russell Henley, top 10 at the Open Championship. It's easy to use, fast to pay out, and makes even regular season games feel like a must-watch. Scottie Scheffler running away with the Open Championship. I still got to see if Russell Henley gets in the top 10. I was locked in, or should I say locked on. New to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. Major League Baseball is back from break, and the NL leading Cubs taking an L from the Red Sox.
Stop me if you heard this before, but the Chicago Cubs cannot complete the sweep at Wrigley Field this weekend. I'm Sam Lower from the Locked On Cubs podcast, and look, it was always going to be an uphill battle today. The Red Sox was a really important game for them. Garrett Crochet on the mound, their stopper. They don't want to get swept to start the second half after the way they finished the first half. It was always going to be a tough game, but the Cubs had opportunities in this game. They left a lot of guys on base. PCA got picked off of second, trying to steal third, which was a little bit of a rally killer, and they couldn't get anything going. But really the story was 5 consecutive innings. The Cubs walked a leadoff hitter. The wind was blowing in, but when you do that, you're setting yourself up for trouble. And Abreu hit 2 home runs. Bregman hit the big one in a pinch hit situation to put the game away, and that was it. So overall, very good weekend for the Cubs, taking 2 out of 3 from a really tough Boston team. But, you know, at some point here, you'd love to finish off these sweeps, get rolling, stack up 6, 7, 8 wins in a row with the way, you know, the division is playing out. But Cubs will try and bounce back against the Royals on Monday.
Yankees secured a road win over the Braves.
Yankees escape Atlanta with a series victory despite doing everything imaginable to not win this series. I'm Brian McKeon from Locked On Yankees. And listen, you win on Saturday with an improbable comeback. You get the win on Sunday behind a really good performance from the team. But you knew Marcus Stroman wasn't going to give you length. You didn't know what Will Warren could potentially give you. And you started on Friday with a bullpen game. None of this makes any sense to me. They're now going into Toronto in a major divisional series with a bullpen that's completely taxed. So you got a series win in Atlanta. You certainly take that, but you're going in extremely depleted and hoping your top starters can give you major length in Toronto. We'll be discussing all of it on Locked On Yankees throughout the week. We'll see how this one goes north of the border.
And the Ole Miss football community is in mourning after the tragic death of freshman defensive lineman Corey Adams. The 18-year-old from New Orleans was shot and killed Saturday night in Cordova, Tennessee, just outside Memphis. Adams, a 2-time All-State selection out of Edna Karr High School, had enrolled at Ole Miss earlier this year and was preparing for his first season in Oxford. As authorities continue to investigate the shooting that also left 4 others injured, the Ole Miss program is asking for privacy and prayers. A rising athlete with his future ahead of him, Corey Adams will be missed. WNBA players want to be paid. Locked On Women's Basketball coach Howard Megdal broke down the PR tactics the WNBPA took on Saturday to deliver their message to the league and the public amid ongoing CBA negotiations.
She mentions the bubble, and that is the last time this many players were together. 40 plus who showed up here. But the wobble season was a designed season for safety. Players have to be together. It was almost like the 144 collective was a byproduct of a otherwise previously put together season. This is different. This was an intentional move by players who came into it. We're talking about this freedom. A lot of them younger than her. She's their second year. They were rookies at this year. And veterans alike. All coming together to try and get the best deal that the players can get. Now, again, the devil's in the details. There's a lot to talk about and reasons why the league has the stance that it does. The kids like they do, it's going to be utterly fascinating to see how they square the circle. And again, I'll just go back and say, not only are there time reasons, I'm going to get into that in a special edition of the 9 newsletter coming up soon, but there's time where this has to get done. At the end of what we talked about this tonight, it's a collectively bargaining thing to have an extension. And we've got 2 teams who have to play by next year. There's teams that have to make plans for free agency. That happens before Portland and Toronto. So a lot that still has to be figured out. Really interesting to see. So we'll have a lot more about this. But the other part, we talked about this after the break, is just this is the new.
Stay up to date all year on the WNBA by subscribing to Locked On Sports Today and Locked On Women's Basketball on your favorite podcast app. Coming up, Scottie Scheffler joined a short list of legends after dominating the Open in what has become Scottie Scheffler fashion. Scottie Scheffler is on an incredible, dominant run. However, after winning the Open, he continued to reflect on the true magnitude of his success and the fulfillment of winning, as he did a week ago before his victory. Have a listen.
Just grew up a kid in Texas that wanted to play professional golf. I grew up wearing pants to the golf course because that's what I wanted to do. I saw professional golfers like Justin Leonard, Harrison Frazier, those types of guys on TV wearing pants. And I was like, I want to be like those guys. So I used to wear pants to grow up to play golf. And it'd be 100 degrees out. I'd be way too hot. People would make fun of me. But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a professional golfer, so I wore pants. And I don't know why I'm so lucky that I get to live out my dreams, but it's something that I'm very grateful for. And so if somebody's going to listen to the comments I had this week, I would encourage them to listen to all of it. And hopefully I did a good job of communicating that, yeah, this is amazing to win the Open Championship. But at the end of the day, having success in life, whether it be in golf or work or whatever it is, that's not what fulfills the deepest desires of your heart. Am I grateful for it? Do I enjoy it? Oh my gosh, yeah, this is a cool feeling. I can't wait to get home and celebrate this championship, with the people that have kind of helped me along the way. But at the end of the day, it doesn't fulfill the deepest desires of my heart. And but it's just tough to describe when you haven't lived it. Something I actually talked to Shane about this week was, just because you win a golf tournament or accomplish something, it doesn't make you happy. It doesn't. Maybe for a few moments, maybe for a few days, but at the end of the day, there's more to life than playing golf. But I'm pretty excited to go home and celebrate this one.
Scottie Scheffler is a human being, and he wants you to know that. I've never seen a golfer hold his baby as much as Scottie Scheffler. I've never seen a golfer's baby as much as I've seen Scottie Scheffler. Part of that is because he just keeps on winning. He is as dominant a golfer as we've seen since Tiger Woods. In Scottie's last 50 starts, he has 13 wins and 41 top 10s. Out of 50. He is remarkable. He also has made it clear he does not want to be defined by his job. He does not define himself by his job. He is not fulfilled solely by his job. In a way, he follows the path of another individual modern superstar like Nikola Jokic. He is, as Scottie is, I'm just here to do my job superstar, a dominant force who has interests outside the game, who isn't defined by what happens on the court, who just seems like he wants the season to be over, preferably for him with a title. Nikola Jokic is still a killer on the court, but he's just as happy to then go back home and spend time with his brothers and his horses. Scottie Scheffler, the same thing. It's almost like he takes breaks from spending time with his family to go be the most dominant golfer we've seen in 25 years. And that's how it works for him. Jordan Spieth said after the round, he noticed what many golf fans have noticed, that Scottie is not Tiger or even Rory McIlroy, Bryson DeChambeau, some other players who have been popular, have had success. At times, Rory McIlroy was a dominant golfer. Scottie Scheffler's game, his attitude, his aura, if you want to do it that way, is not like Rory's or Tiger's. There's no swaggering down the fairway after a monster drive or a great shot. There's no demonstrative victory celebration. There is a methodical taking down of every golf course that stands in his way. And then there's hugging his family and carrying his baby to the car, his F-150, I'm sure that has 150,000 miles on it. And he goes home. He is a ho-hum superstar in the vein of Nikola Jokic, or if we want to take it back a little ways, Brett Favre, where it was like, yeah, if this all went away today, I'd be fine. And in a way, it seems to me that his success is part and parcel of that mindset, that it does not define him, and therefore the pressure's off. It is lifted off of his shoulders because it is not everything. If it did go away tomorrow, in addition to be, financially set for life, he would be able to find fulfillment outside of his job. It is a good lesson for all of us. Maybe we would be a little bit better at our job if we took the pressure off a little bit, found fulfillment elsewhere with family, with friends, with experiences, with hobbies. I'm not saying you can be as great as Scottie Scheffler, but you might be a little closer, and that'd be pretty cool. And finally, speaking of Scottie Scheffler, history has a funny way of repeating itself. Tiger Woods won his first major at the 1997 Masters and his fourth major at the 2000 Open Championship, exactly 1,197 days apart. Fast forward to now, Scottie Scheffler just pulled off the exact same timeline from his first major at the 2022 Masters to his fourth at the 2025 Open Championship, 1,197 days. History doesn't repeat itself, but it does often rhyme. In this case, it repeated itself. If you're catching this episode after hearing your favorite Locked On show, make sure to subscribe to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast so you never miss an episode. Also, if you're a new subscriber to Locked On Sports Today, we're here for you with the biggest stories in sports every day. Coming up, do the New England Patriots have enough firepower to make a push to the playoffs? So at least until tomorrow, stay locked on sports today.
Locked On Podcast Network presents Locked On Sports Today.
For more episodes of Locked On Sports Today, go to our video on demand. Click on sports at the top of your screen. There, you'll find past episodes of Locked On Sports Today, plus other Locked On shows on demand.